Hi, I'm Radiance. Usually you'd be joining me on a journey to explore enticing recipes, but today we're gonna have a conversation. And I wanted to talk about, an experience I had that brought up some thoughts for me. Earlier this week, me and my partner went to an event, and it was a food event. I don't even know if that does it any justice. It was amazing. It was by a Queen of Greens. That is her name. And Chef Lauren. And so the reason why I say it was no words to describe it is because it was plant-based vegan food / raw food, living food to the next level. It was taken to the next level. And one of the things I admired so much was the artistry of the food, right? So she had foods that were multi-layered. They were nutritious, they were delicious, they were artistic, they looked wonderful, and then the flavor complexities were just amazing. One of the things that she did with each dish, it was a 4-course meal, was she paired each dish with a drink. And I believe, all of them were like a wine or champagne, except for the last drink. The dessert course was paired with tea. But what happened was, while I was having one of the dishes, it was paired with a Riesling. And I believe it was a soup dish. And, I was expressing to my partner that, I used to be a Moscato drinker. I'm not really much of a drinker, but when I drank wine, that's what I drank. And if you know anything about Moscato, it's extra, extra sweet. Anyway, I then graduated and went on to a Riesling. And the first time I was explaining that the first time I ever had a Riesling, I was in a chain steakhouse. It's called Capitol Grill. It's all around the country. And they had this Riesling. I liked it so much. I loved it so much that I had the waiter, write down the name and all that stuff. And I had it for so many years. I never bought it, but I had it for so many years. And for some reason, after I had that Riesling, being not a wine expert, I for some reason thought that all Rieslings were going to taste like that. Guess what happened? I went on to try other Rieslings and realized very soon that some Rieslings are very dry, what I would consider more on the bitter side, but maybe they're tart, but dry, I guess is the word. And I realized that they're not all the same. And so as I was having a discussion about Riesling and how, it drew me in and I loved it, I realized that it's much like life, right? There's different brands of Riesling. They're, produced in different regions, under different environments from different people that are, I guess, winemakers and wine producers. They're aged differently. And, there's different complexities, different notes. Maybe it's the same type of grape, but it goes through different processes and it's sold in different environments. And you can get it in a restaurant, you can get it, in a liquor store. And my point is that it's much like life. Sometimes in life, we experience something. Sometimes we experience people. And we experience something maybe that's not so positive or something that, really just rubbed us the wrong way. And we then go forward thinking that every time we meet someone like that, or let's say it's a relationship, every time you get into a relationship, that it's going to be the same experience. And what I would say wine and an experience has taught me is not to assume that everything is going to be the same. In life, don't assume that just because you experience this person in this way or a relationship in this way, or even if it looks the same, that it's the same exact thing. Oftentimes when we do experience things that are common, a lot of the times we get exactly what we expect. So be mindful of that. I'm not saying anyone deserves anything ill or anything negative or bad. I'm just saying that we need to be conscious or try to be conscious that expectations sometimes are met with expectations. Sometimes when you expect things to be a certain way, that's exactly what you get. And if you know that, you can then play with that and start expecting some really great, amazing things, right? And also expect some transformation. As you transform your mind, as you transform the way you think about things, as you even transform those expectations, oftentimes you'll get better and better experiences. And if you do have an experience that is likened to the previous one that didn't feel so good or you deemed as negative, guess what? That experience was also put there to teach you. And maybe it's to teach you to look at something differently, react differently, process differently. It's probably there to stretch and grow you. So yes, much like the wine, I believe that it's just like life, right? It is multi-layered. It has different levels to it. Riesling has different price levels, right? I guess based upon where it's sold and how it's produced, and that's much like life. There's different levels to life. And there's just, different ways of being. You can even go as much as a bottle of water. Let's forget wine. If you're not even a wine drinker, water. You can literally go to a gas station and get a bottle of water. I know because I've done it. And the bottle of water is $2.50 or $3. I've gone to a Walmart and the same bottle of water that I bought in the gas station or say convenience store was half the price of that. I've gone to a restaurant and had that same exact bottle of water. I happen to like Fiji, by the way. And that bottle of water was actually 2 or 3 times the price of what it was in the gas station. So my point is that not every single experience in life, although it may look the same, is the same. And oftentimes what changes, much like with the bottles of water, is not just the environment, but maybe where you are at. If you're in a space of maybe not feeling well, you're not feeling good, you're upset, you're angry, you've been hurt, whatever it is that you're going through, sometimes you're not able to receive certain people, places, and things and look at it as a positive or even a place to grow from because you're in that headspace. You're upset and you can't see any which way. You're in a funk, so to speak. You're in a mood, so to speak. I've been there. Trust me, I get it. When you start to work on yourself and you start to grow, right? And sometimes when you elevate yourself and you heal a little bit more, when that experience comes back to you, sometimes it can just be a different person, but similar experience. When you start to process it differently because you've grown some, what ends up happening is that the experience ends up being a little bit more different because you've also processed and are reacting to it differently. So, same thing with the levels. And then when you've gotten to a space of absolute healing, which, mind you, we're always a work in progress, right? But when you've done so much work on yourself and you've really, really, truly healed and know thyself, right? And you start to pivot. I was told recently that someone saw that I was able to pivot. I was able to see some of the things that I was doing and able to kind of change those things. Like I tend to overthink sometimes things, right? So being able to self-correct or course correct even the way you react is maybe the next level for you, right? And when you get there, 2 things may happen. Either you're going to get something likened to what you experienced to see how you're going to react, right? Teaching moment, growing moment, right? Or you'll stop attracting that altogether. And you'll have a different level of circumstances and challenges because life is always going to be full of challenges. But also understand that life, just like it's full of challenges, is also full of wonderfulness, right? That's a word I made up. But it's full of wonder. It's full of joy. It's full of happiness. Happiness, yes, is a choice, right? Now, granted, negative circumstances, stuff you don't like may piss you off and you don't want that. No one does. But you get to choose how you react to it. So, I say that to say that understand that there's not just one layer to life, right? The wine, like life, like us as human beings, are so multifaceted, so multi-layered, so complex, so wonderful, and full of sometimes surprises and challenges. So, I hope this has helped you. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and like. Also share it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel if you want to have more content like this, and also for more of my food content, which I will continue to share. And also join my free VIP group. The link is in my bio. Join it and come on over and join us for some more fun discussions like this, and also some of my delicious recipes that I share. All right? Thank you so much for joining me. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.